have a brother, David, and a sister, Jenny. I'm the middle child, the one with all the issues. And my legal name is Susan. And I hate being called Susan. I could kill you, Daddy, for calling me Susan. So when Jenny was a kid, we used to call her Wally Walrus because she was fat, and it's sort of stuck. And she calls me Susan just as a joke, but it's sort of funny the way she calls me Susan because she knows I don't like it. Anyway, many years ago, I was in Paul's show, the musical, Paul Sharrett musical, and Paul had to go away for the weekend. And so while the cat's away, the mice will play, Jenny and I, or Wally and I, decided to go to a club. And we get in there, we drank before we got there. We were maggot. And when we got in there, this girl that we had sent in a show to Japan came up to me and said, "You slut." And I'm like, what? Because the last thing I am is a slut. I'm not going there though, but my sister goes up and she goes, "What did you say?" And she grabs this girl by the scruff of the neck and she goes, "Don't you ever speak to my sister again, you expletive." And then these 4 huge guys all come over like this to Jenny and I, and they were with this girl. Well, Jenny grabs my hand and she pulls me, and we go running out of this club and down the stairs and into the taxi cab, and off we go. And I am a giggling hyena the whole way. So when we get back, now Jenny is my youngest sister, but everybody thinks that I'm the oldest one because she's bossy. So we get there and the cab stops and Jenny goes, "Susan, sit here and wait until I pay the cabbie." So she gets out of the other side. Susan doesn't sit there. What does Susan do? She goes to get out, her knee collapses, and she goes head first from the seat down on the road and snaps off my front tooth. Well, I'm screaming, laughing. It's like 3 a.m. in the morning. And Jenny's like, "I told you to." So she still hadn't paid the cabbie. There seemed to be some commotion. Wally gets hold of me. She comes up and she goes, "Susan, stay there." And she turns her back, and as she does, the fence collapses, and I do a somersault next door to an Aboriginal guy who 2 prisoners had escaped from Boggo Road and were living there. But Jenny didn't know that at the time, thank the dear Lord. So people were coming out of their houses. I'm still like screeching. And some friends of Jenny's that lived upstairs from her, they were all out. So it was hilarious. So we get inside. Next thing I know, Jenny's on the bed. She looked like she was on the cross. She's just got her knickers on and she's sleeping. And I'm like, I feel a little bit hungry. So I have a look in her fridge and freezer. All she's got is frozen bread and alcohol. So I had some more of that. So I decided to call up directory assistance. And I said, "I'm wondering if you could tell me if you have any food places open that do delivery." And they said, "Oh, no, not at this time, no." So I call up again this time. "I was wondering if you could help me. Are there any places that deliver food?" She said, no places. I do it again. I go, "Hello." She goes, look, we've already told you. So I got no food. The next morning, get up. I've got all pieces of tar on my chin. All this is bleeding and half the tooth is gone. So I had to, Paul was coming back that night. So Paul's accountant, Amy, Jenny has to tell her, oh yeah, that's what happened. I lost my wallet. And we think it was in the next door's place. My wallet's gone. Jenny has to call up Paul's accountant and tells her, and she goes, Jenny, you should have been watching your sister. Then this didn't happen. Paul is not going to be happy. We didn't tell her about my tooth, only that I'd lost all my credit cards. Susan was always losing her credit cards. So Jenny, that afternoon, I've got all this makeup stuck on my chin and I had to sing that night. Jenny drops me off at the airport and takes off at the speed of knots. And when Paul comes out of the airport, he picks me up and I go, oh, he goes, how are you? And I go, I'm good. And I was like this. And he said, you're very quiet. I said, am I? Just another day in the life of Susie Sharon.